Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this FB4 Daily for Wednesday, the 3rd of July. It's easy when it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and 4th, 2nd, and 3rd. I'll make a mess of it next week, don't worry. Another show, another 20-25 minutes. A few bits have come up after yesterday's show, yesterday evening, this morning. A few bits I've read around different articles and stuff, so we'll have a quick look at them. Listen, just send in your comments, lash them all in there, and listen, it gives us more to talk about as we go along. Congrats for being punctual. Jesus, no, the trippers are not known for that. I literally make myself sit down here at 10 to 1 and wait to hit the go live button. That's how I work. Okay, what are we going to do first? Well, yesterday we spoke about Simon Mignolet. So we're going to talk a little bit about Alisson Becker this morning, or this afternoon, sorry. But before we do that, today's show, another great sponsor, one that's been with us a little while now, is 3 Retro. 3 Retro do, as the name suggests, all your retro football gear, jerseys, not just Liverpool jerseys, all club teams, international teams. They do tracksuit tops, they do all sorts of stuff like that. A brilliant company. We've given away a couple of prizes on this show with regards to 3 Retro, and every one of them, that's every person that's won has really enjoyed it and really liked the prize that they've gotten. So if you can find them on Twitter at 3retro_ or www.3retro.com. As I said, great company, as the likes of Love Follow Conquer and Entire Design have been. They're really good. Another good sponsor for this Wednesday. There is a competition on today's show. I'll drop that in halfway through and let you know how you can win something from 3 Retro this week. Right, on to it. Let's go. Alisson Becker. So last night, Brazil play Argentina in the semi-final of the Copa America. There's a video going around this morning of Messi lining up a free kick, eyeballing the goal, and you're thinking, this is it. This is what Messi is probably the best in the world at. And Alisson plucks it out of the sky as if, no bother, not a problem to him. How good is this fella, really? Like last season and last summer, we were talking about goalkeepers and who would we get, and there was would Mignolet get back in, would Karius remain? There was all sorts of keepers going around, and then Alisson Becker shows up, and I have to say, a little bit surprising to me. He has been a revelation from day one. Little few shaky moments, Leicester away, a couple of dodgy ones, and you're thinking, is he a bit ropey or just a bit overconfident? But he's grown so much into this season as the season's gone on. He was excellent he was excellent in the Champions League final. For that, he's done everything perfectly in the Champions League final. But for about a period of about 10 minutes, 15 minutes when Spurs really pushed, excellent. He done everything top notch. He hasn't conceded a goal in about, I don't know, 9-10 games. Golden Glove winner in the Champions League, Golden Glove winner I think in the Premier League, and is Golden Glove winner now in the Copa America. An outstanding season and an outstanding finish to the season. He probably deserves to win that Copa America just for himself and the way he's been all season. I'm just over the moon with this guy. To go into a new season with this guy in goal, it's just, there's no pressure there, there's no worries, there's no anxiety from us. We just know that, listen, what was it, 65 odd million we ended up paying. He was the world's most expensive goalkeeper for a week. But listen, for me, he's the best around at the minute. He really is. De Gea is up there. Neuer's always mentions different things like that. The lad at Chelsea, Kepa, he's alright. But Alisson Becker just suits Liverpool down to the ground. Absolutely down to the ground. Yossi says he wasn't in the team of the year. Ridiculous. Absolutely and utterly ridiculous that he wasn't in team of the year. Madness. But I think Liverpool kind of dominated the defensive positions in that, and maybe people knew that was going to happen and picked the guy off City, who's another outstanding goalkeeper. But for me, Alisson is the best around. He's number 1 in Brazil. The guy who's at City is number 2 in Brazil. So that's how good Alisson Becker is rated. And listen, the longer he's here, the better. I just had to have a word on him. I really did, because it's just a weight off a lot of Liverpool fans' shoulders to know that he's there start of the season. Nothing we have to worry about. He's done and dusted, and he's there for, well, hopefully he's there for as long as we can, as long as he wants. We want him here, and as long he's happy as 4, 5, 6 years. Yeah, the more years the merrier. So that was just a little mention on him. Also, little more on Firmino. Gets a goal and an assist last night. It was a fiery game against Argentina, but look, Firmino's playing well. I just hope that he comes back, he gets a little bit of a rest, and he's a little bit more on the mark than he was at the start of last season. He was a bit sluggish, but look, what can you say? Like, they're playing World Cups, they're playing Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, and they're straight into a Copa America. You just have to hope that your players come back and get enough rest and keep going, you know. Let me see now. The next thing, the Coutinho debate. Now, the thing about the Coutinho debate is, it's probably not a debate. Just talking now this morning that he has agreed to go to PSG. Neymar looks like he's going on his way back to Barcelona, which is a bit ironic because Neymar was the one that wanted Coutinho with him at PSG. Now it looks like they may be swapping clubs. But I done a poll there 25 minutes ago. There's a couple, 400 votes in it, and 66% of people would take Coutinho back at the right price. I'm delighted because I'm one of them, but it's just I just think the quality of the player, if it was at the right price, I think it's something we should do. He strengthens the squad, no doubt. But look, it's just there's a lot going on with Coutinho and things like that. But look, I just done that poll to see how people felt. Just a really simple question: would you take him back at the right price? Forget all the Klopp stuff and the way he left and stuff like that, because people take Suarez back and he left on a very, very similar way. So I wouldn't worry about that. Yeah, it's good to be talking about other things, not our keeper problems. Yeah, absolutely true. It's absolutely true. We don't have any keeper problems, which is brilliant. But back to Coutinho, I think he comes back to Liverpool. He said, listen, he knows the mistake he made. Everyone knows the mistake he made. But look, it could be just a case of he goes to PSG. It's nothing to worry about. Just one of those. But I just wanted to put that poll out just to get not a definitive answer on it, but just to scope out if it was the right price and everyone was happy, would you take him from your own personal point of view? And about 66% think we should. Now, competition. So the competition is with 3 Retro. The prize is, what they usually do is you win the prize, we put you in contact. You pick a retro jersey. A lot of people that listen to this show and watch this show pick a Liverpool jersey. I've seen lads picking stuff from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, ones from 10, 12 years ago. Brilliant stuff. So what we're going to do with the competition is, this is all you need to do. You're watching this broadcast, alright? All you need to do, share the broadcast, tag us, and tag 3 Retro in it. That's all you need to do. We have posted this show on our timeline on Twitter. It's up there. It's right up there now. All you need to do is go on there, retweet it with 3 Retro. That's it. If I see a tweet from you with us tagged in it, with 3 Retro tagged in it, and it's this video you're watching, you're in, I'll put the names in a hat. I'll get one of the lads to randomly give me a number, and you win. You can win. We get you in contact with 3 Retro. They sort you out whatever you need. They post it to you. Usually what happens is whoever wins it and gets posted to them, they'll throw a picture up to say, yeah, look, I got it. And they always say, yeah, look, I got it. On time, great quality. Lad there says you don't think you get second chance with Jurgen Klopp. Fair point. Coutinho left in a bad way. But what I'm thinking is just your personal view, would you take him back? Not about Jurgen Klopp or anything, just you yourself, would you take him back? That's all I'm asking. Look, the poll is open for another 20-25 minutes. If you want to go and do it, go and do it. But as I said, 3 Retro, we've sent out the tweet there. If you want to just retweet that and just tag 3 Retro in it, and that's it, you're in the draw, and I'll announce that within the hour after the show. I'll tell you what, I'll leave it for 2 hours in case people want to watch it afterwards and retweet and stuff like that. So I'll leave it a couple of hours. Alright, now, one name that popped up this morning is a guy called Danny Olmo. Never heard him before this morning, so I went and had a little read. Now, what do you usually do when you go for a little read? You go on Wikipedia. I'm not even sure if that's his real name, that's being honest with you. But look, he's on there. He's a 21-year-old Spanish underage international. He's played roughly about 30 games, I think, underage, and 5 goals. He was with Barcelona as a 17-year-old. He went to Dynamo Zagreb. He's with them since 2015. I think he plays roughly 70 games for them. He's about 14 goals. Now, the thing about this is, if he was a young player and you were thinking, a couple of million, is he one for the future? There's talk that it's 40 million euros. 40 million euros seems a hell of a lot for a player that's 21, hasn't been capped at senior international level, and is playing with Dynamo Zagreb. But that's a link this morning. I don't know how good he is. I'm just letting you know what I read. If you want to go and look at him, Danny Olmo, Olmo. If you go and look at him, but 40 million seems a hell of a lot for a player probably in a position where we are probably looking around Oxlade-Chamberlain, Keita. You never know who you bring in the summer. But I just thought I'd bring that name up because there's links starting to appear. This merry-go-round that we talked about yesterday, the explosion in the market, is it rumbling? We talked about Harry Maguire yesterday and the mad prices. Apparently he's told Leicester this morning that he wants to leave the club this summer. You've got Perez off Newcastle, apparently going to Leicester for 30 million. I think they signed him for about 2 million pounds, 3 million euros, something around that. So it's starting to rumble now. And you see with the Premier League, they have about 35 days left, something around that, where they literally have to sign players because it closes 2 days before the league starts on the 10th with us at home to Norwich. So there will be movement on that. But 40 million euros for this guy seems to me a little bit high. United are supposedly the front runners, but I take that with a pinch of salt. United, if you go on to the bookies for every single player out there at the minute, United are front runners because they're just being linked with everybody, and the bookies are covering their arses on United because they think United are going to go mad this summer. I think they will go mad, but we'll have to see how mad they go. But so I just wanted to leave that name in there for you. So it's Danny Olmo, Olmo. Moving on now. I just touched on the merry-go-round and the things like that. Is there a chance we don't get on this merry-go-round? I was having a talk with a couple of lads last night, and they were saying, no, we will be involved. One thing that kept coming up with the lads was, you can't stand still. So I went and had a look at the squad. I went and had a look at who played a lot last season, who didn't play a lot last season, who's left. And for me, I'd have to agree with them that if we don't do something, especially up front, I think we are standing still. I think Moreno leaves and Sturridge leaves. These things happen. They ran out of contract. You're looking at a Brewster coming in to replace Sturridge. Although Sturridge wasn't impressive to me at all last season. Brewster is extremely young. Very, very little experience coming into a team where, although Sturridge didn't shine for us, particularly under Klopp at any stage, Brewster is a risk. The other argument was, no, look, Ox coming back is like a new signing. I don't really like that term, but if let's say Oxlade-Chamberlain comes back and Keita steps it up a little bit, are they an improvement on the squad? Keita, yes, he's already been in the squad. Oxlade-Chamberlain, most definitely. If he comes back on form, he adds an extra dimension. But I still think we need to add to this squad because, in my opinion, we need to go up. We need to go up probably, I said it already, 5% across the board. And whoever comes in to replace Moreno and Sturridge probably have to be 10 or 15% more input than them and quality than them from what he showed last season. But look, as I said before, I think we will be involved. I think that we're being very cute about our business. Pepe, there's a couple of quotes come out of France today, or this morning probably, to say that, they have had offers. They're apparently saying now. They're saying they've had offers. They're also saying that the player wanted to leave it on the back burner till after he's in the African nations, or I think he's in the African nations. Yeah. So he's saying until all this tournament football is over, then it will be discussed. Listen, to me that sounds like they're starting an auction and they're starting it early. Do we think he's still on the radar? I have a sneaking suspicion he is. These quotes are very reminiscent of Fekir last season, when little quotes start getting leaked in French newspaper and French publications, and next thing it was all go, and it blew up very quickly and then got dampened even quicker. You know, the guy barely had a Liverpool shirt on him doing interviews, and the deal was off. But I think that I don't know how much is behind these quotes, but these quotes starting to appear would tell you that there's probably something there for Pepe. We done another not a poll, but we just listed a couple of names last night. So there was Fekir, there was Dembele, there was Pepe, there was Coutinho, there was a couple of others in there, and Coutinho came out on top. Pepe wasn't really mentioned. I don't think people are believing the kind of is there much behind these rumours, especially around the 80 million mark. I'd be surprised if it's up there near 80 million, I'm being honest with you. Paul Tabley says we can't afford to think we won the Champions League and came second, so that's it. The best team in the world improve. I fully agree with you, Paul. 100%. You always strengthen from a position of strength. And listen, we won the Champions League, amazing. But at the end of the day, we fell short in the Premier League, and I think 2 or 3 into that squad and throw Chamberlain there and an improved Keita, I think brings us up another level, and we can challenge for both without any problem at all. We need another forward, says another person. Origi is flaky, and Brewster is young, is a kid. Yeah, I agree with you. I think we need something else. It's going to be very hard to find something in that front to replicate that front three, but I think you could definitely find something that doesn't replicate the front three, but isn't a drop off to a Brewster or Origi. It's something in between, and something in between that may go on and be to the level of our front three. I think that's where it's important. The other thing, Dembele. The Dembele reports, again, this is more stuff coming out of Spain last night, saying that Liverpool have contacted Barcelona with regards to Dembele. Barcelona do not want to sell, and Dembele does not want to move. If the way I read that was, just don't report it, just say nothing, or you say Liverpool contacted Barcelona and were told, no, it's not happening. For Barcelona to come around and say, we don't really want to sell, and he doesn't really want to move, that's leaving a door ajar for me. We spoke yesterday about Dembele and his attitude and stuff, and people come back and said, no, his attitude was overblown. I don't think it was. I think it was well documented. He was turning up late, and, he was, he was a bit of a disruptive kind of influence around the dressing room at times. His talent is, it's not questioned. His talent is amazing. It's again more quotes coming out of Spain, where it leaves a door ajar, and it's kind of letting people know that there's approaches being made for this player, and we haven't, shut the door on it straight away. City get 100 points and went and signed Mahrez for 60 million. This is exactly my point. City continue to strengthen, and look, there's a lot of murky stuff around City and financial fair play and different things like that, which I hope at some stage comes out and is fully explained. But they just continue to do it. They continue to look and go, forward planning and stuff like that. We don't need as much forward planning. We have a younger squad than City, with as much potential, in my opinion. But we do need to pick and choose a player here and a player there to go in and go, he's better than what we have, whether that be first team or whether it be the backup to the first team. He's better than the backup. He comes in and he pushes even harder to the first team. That's just the way I look at things. The last one I'm going to touch on is Divock Origi. This has surfaced again now, Divock Origi. It went from him in contract talks, then it went to basically him being, looking around for a move, and then there was things about positive talks with Liverpool again, and it's kind of a little bit up in the air. I get the feeling Liverpool are looking, and if they get the right offer, they may do a deal on this. That's just my own personal opinion. I'm not an expert on anything. It's just a personal opinion on what I'm reading and the way I'm reading it. Divock Origi, in the role he has now as backup, I've no problem with. I think he can improve. I think he can get better. I think another season under Klopp, he may get more used to the way we play. Because let's be honest, he scores like goals in the Champions League final, but he couldn't pass the ball for the 15-20 minutes before that. He genuinely couldn't pass the ball to a Liverpool player. He looked like a duck out of water. It was definitely, a square peg in a round hole, but he goes and scores. So there's something there about him. This keeps coming up. Liverpool haven't rubbished this or done the contract, and there might be something there. Now, the link this morning was Betis with the guy Firpo coming the other way, the left back. That's a bit lazy for me. This guy was linked a couple of weeks ago, and then you're talking about you need a story, and you talk about Origi, and you say, "Oh, Betis is the one," and it could be going the other way. Don't get me wrong; I could be proved completely wrong, and he could go to Betis as part of a deal for the left back to come the other way. It could be, but Liverpool haven't shut this down. It's been reported. It's being reported by the Echo in Liverpool as well. So it's a local patch, as they call it. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on that. Anything else happening? Not really. I'm sure more will come around as the day goes on. As I said, I have to keep tabs on this stuff now. I usually spend my summer kind of ignoring football and doing pods once or twice a week. But no, I have to keep an eye on this one now, and I have to keep an eye on it all the time, which I will. But no, there's nothing really else going around. There's no other kind of concrete rumours. I think, as I said yesterday, it's going to take one big signing across, Italy, Spain, France, Germany, England, one of them that goes through the roof, and then I think everyone will realise where the level is set, and then they'll all go from there. Coupled with the fact that you have the Copa America and the African Cup of Nations still on, I think when both of them end, I think it could be really, really interesting. For me, I'll hand on heart, I think Liverpool go in, and I think we do a bit of business. I think people, I wouldn't be worrying. I wouldn't be worrying about us not doing any business. I just can't see it happening. Like, although Klopp has a lot of faith in his squad, and he's loyal to players, he can be ruthless at times as well. Somebody says, "Gab, tell Andy to piss off with his fake rumours." Listen, let me tell you something about Andy. Andy is one of the most positive, funny Liverpool fans I know. Take it with a pinch of salt, lads. If you're on Twitter and you follow him, have the crack with him. He's literally having the crack. He's one of the nicest blokes you'll meet, genuinely. He does a lot of work with me. He helps me out with this show. We do a lot of work together on the club, which we will be going forward this season. But look, Andy is just a top bloke. If the best thing to do with Andy is when he writes that, answer him and say, "Yeah, I agree," and get it going. He's only getting a laugh going. He's one of the best, Andy. So just keep it going with him. And he'll be good value during the summer. Let's be honest. When people are getting frustrated and a bit upset over the way things are going, go on to Andy. Get to Andy, and you'll have a bit of a laugh, guaranteed. But look, that's all the names we have for today. That's all the news we have for today. Listen, if there's anything out there that you see, just tag LFC Day Trippers in it. Let us have a look at it. We'll have a look through it. We might add her into the schedule tomorrow. As I said, if there's anybody out there that wants to come on and have a chat with me on this, again, LFC Day Trippers at gmail.com. Get on there, or send us a message on Twitter, whatever you want to do. We're more than happy to have people on, have a chat, get people's opinions. We're not here to tell anyone what to think or anything like that, and especially me. If you want to come on, have the crack for us, have the chat for us around 1 o'clock every day. We'll see how it goes for a couple of weeks. We might change the time to see how it's going, but look, come on, have the crack for us, and yeah, we'll try and make the best of, which is not too much of a long summer, in fairness. It's only what, 6 weeks till the season starts, somewhere in around that. So, but look, we'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. As I said, thanks a million to the sponsors, 3 Retro. Find them on Twitter at 3retro_, www.3retro.com. The stuff they do, the merchandise they do is top notch. The competition is there. Go and find this video on our timeline, retweet it, and tag 3 Retro in it, and we'll pick a winner by the end of the day, and we'll announce that, and we get you in contact with Free Retro. That's been all for today. Thanks a million for joining us. Have a good Wednesday. The weather is deadly. Yeah, might end up having a few cans. Have a good day. Over now.